tell them who you are.
Makai.
Makai. All right, Makai, how old are you?
12.
All right, so this is Makai, it's my 12-year-old cousin. First ever podcast I'm doing with somebody else. Second ever podcast. All right, so if this is not good, then lick my nuts. If it's good, lick my nuts. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we're gonna get into a lot of stuff today. First thing I want to say, did you have a dream last night? First of all,
Yeah.
you remember that dream?
Yeah.
Tell us about your dream. What was your dream about?
So look, so the dream was about like how slavery should be back, and I was putting cotton and stuff, and some white dude just started hitting somebody, so I just mind my business. Then I peed my pants because he started coming towards me. Then I wake up. Then I felt that I actually peed my pants.
That's a nice dream. Honestly, I think I had the same dream. No, but again, obviously, as you get older, you stop remembering your dreams. You know, you're young, you still remember like all your dreams. But
I didn't even dream, bro.
Did you actually have a dream or no?
No. Wait, no. Yeah.
Okay. What's the last dream like you remember? Like you can remember the whole thing.
Last dream I ever had was like me and a group of dream friends. Like I had been dreaming of these friends like since I was 6, and they're like this sort of group that I just go on adventures with. So we was inside the woods. Then a bunch of like tribes started just attacking us. So the entire friend group died, and including me because I had died in the fire because they pushed me in it. So then I wake up in the school and I jumped off the railings, and it felt like I was actually inside the dream.
Okay, so I can't remember any like dreams I've had recently, really, aside like the ones where I was like 6 years old. That's like, well, there was one, the most recent one that I like really remember was when I was 10, so like I was in 3rd grade, whatever. But yeah, other than that, I can't really remember my dreams. I'll say now, but they're more realistic to the point where like it doesn't feel like it's a dream. Like I have to wake up and make sure that it was a dream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
oh, was this real? Like it's not none of that weird crap. But I would talk about that dream, man. Which it was like, what also like when I was 10, 9 kind of era. So you would have only had been like 3, 4, so you wouldn't remember this or anything. But back in that time, so it's like what, 2013, 2012, something like that, where this one guy all over the world, he was appearing in everybody's dreams and everyone could describe him the same way. So it was like kind of creepy because they felt like it was probably some kind of governmental thing or some kind of sign from God or something like that.
No,
it was crazy.
Yeah, I heard about this, like I was probably like 4 or 6 or something, but like it's like everybody describes him as the Dream Man. That's what people called him back then. So I have read about this kid on YouTube. When he's first like popped up and stuff, he popped up like in interviews and stuff on YouTube. But when he like pops up, he'll tell you to follow him or just go inside his room, and then you just wake up and go to somebody and say that.
So like
something like that.
The dreams. This is mine, right? You didn't bring yours. I didn't finish mine last night, right? So the dreams, like everyone had different dreams because it was the same guy but just different dreams. Now me and Tyrell, I remember when we were living with each other still, we told each other about our dreams. We had like, it was a different dream, but it was the same guy. You know what I'm saying? It was just crazy. So but you know, that was a crazy time. I don't think there have been many reports of it lately, but it's like slowly starting to happen again, just slowly. But where I'm going with the dreams thing is that I think the dreams that you have, the more realistic ones, where it feels like you're actually awake and this is actually happening, I feel like those are, you know, different possibilities, different life possibilities. You know how there are like alternate realities
Yeah.
in different worlds and stuff. So, or just in general, maybe these dreams are showing you what would happen if you did this instead of that. So if you drink a Pepsi instead of drinking a Coke, you probably would have became a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. So your dreams are just showing you things that could have happened in your life, or things that are probably happening to a different version of you in a different world. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, I agree with you, but this is my theory. Like, I think, like, when you start dreaming, I think you're, like, logging out of your own body and seeing what happens in the afterlife. And, like, your soul is just getting released for, like, a couple of hours, and it'll get to run around and stuff.
Well, yeah, I get that too. Like, there is a theory, I've heard of a theory that your soul leaves your body when you're sleeping, and then it comes back when you awake, and then it has something to do with sleep paralysis. Something like your soul's that fully there, like you're awake, but your soul hasn't come back, or something like that, and that's why you can't move and all that. But yeah, I think dreams are definitely, they show, well, when you get to the more realistic stages, then those are like different realities, things that could have happened. And also I do believe, you know, that dreams do mean things, you know what I'm saying? Off camera, this man's just made a point. Like, what would you say just before I started recording?
Dogs can, like, see ghosts and stuff.
All right, like, just tell me about that.
So, look, it was a theory that it was going around on YouTube that dogs can, like, see ghosts, and sometimes dogs will just stare at walls and start barking out of nowhere. So I'm thinking, like, if they can see ghosts, people can, like, just start catching footage of real life ghosts.
Yeah, okay. I do believe that, you know, dogs can see ghosts and stuff, but I also believe that babies can see ghosts.
Yeah.
There's another, oh my God, but it's like, babies are just more in touch with the spiritual realm and stuff like that. I don't really know much about it. I can't really get into it. But also, another theory that I have is, you know how like babies obviously can't talk and stuff like that. Also, you might not have known this, but babies are blind for a short period of time. Like they can't see. Everyone's like, they see shadows. Like, well, they can see, but like they can't
It's blurry
see.
stuff.
It's just shadows. Like, all right, but it's theory that the reason why babies can't talk when they're first born, like they don't have that ability to talk. Like a puppy can bark, right? Automatically, a puppy can bark.
Yeah.
But a baby cannot talk because they can remember their past life, and it's a way for the government to like, hey, if this baby, like because they can't take those memories away yet, they can't brainwash them because the baby just came into the earth, right? So they made it so that babies can't talk, so they can't unlock all those secrets and things like that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I heard like theories about this, because there's one story that somebody had just gave birth of this baby girl, and it had old past memories of their afterlife, and when they like got rebirthed and stuff, they it was a murder because of the neighbor, because he murdered his other neighbor for being too loud and stuff. So I think rebirth stuff and like remembering your memories are like kind of real and stuff, and that's probably why like dogs can like see ghosts and stuff, because they can like see the rebirth of the babies.
Yeah, and also there are a couple like actual real life instances. Like one when I was younger, like I watched and read about this when I was younger. There's this one kid who he was born with a birthmark on like his head, whatever, like a big birthmark. And he would always talk about how he was killed in his past life. He got killed by an axe to the head, and you know, nobody believed him. But one day he took his parents to the spot. He's like, hey, this is where the guy, you know, buried my body after he killed me. And then they found it, and the guy actually got arrested for the murder. He admitted to it and everything. And also, just a couple days ago, I was watching Jumpers Jump. Shout out to Jumpers Jump, favorite podcasters. But they were talking about how, like, almost every instance where someone talks about their past life, they're always, children. And once they get older, they start to like lose those memories. But when they're younger, that's when it's more dominant. And that's like another thing, like, just younger people are more spiritually evolved. And I feel like you lose those kind of abilities when you get older because the government's brainwashing you, whether you think they are or not, through the TV and all that. They brainwash you through the TV, which also leads me to another theory that they plant the future on the TV, like things like 9/11 and things like that. Now, this is very controversial because people will say that 9/11 was predicted because there was another like failed attack on it or something like that on the Trade Center. But listen, just ignoring that whole thing, let's say just all on the cartoons, all the news channels and all that, just there's little subtle Easter eggs that, show the Twin Towers on fire and all this stuff. And also just like the way they predict it is so precise, so spot on. Now, the theory on that, shout out to Jumpers Jump, is that the government, what they do, they take things that they know are going to happen in the future, not because they predicted it, but because these events are placed in time by the government. And they take years and years ahead and they plant it on the TV. So you're seeing it on TV and it's getting engraved into your brain. You're not really thinking about it, but you see it and it's in the back of your brain. So when this event happens, no one's really surprised. It doesn't turn into like a big kind of outbreak and all that, like things like Donald Trump becoming president. And, people, some people back this up with facts. Well, yeah, he was running before, but that really doesn't mean anything in this situation. They put this stuff on TV so that we can see it, we get used to it, it happens, and we're just like, okay, it is what it is. Now, there's this theory that I think actually Carlos came up with this theory from Jumpers to Jump. Again, shout out to, I love Jumpers Jump. But I think this was Carlos's yeah, he's literally never watched it. He's being a meat writer right now.
What?
But I feel Carlos, he made this theory, and it was that in the future they're gonna, like, Ancestry DNA, like all those DNA places, they keep your DNA. Like, it's proven that they keep your DNA. They don't throw it away. Now, long story short, he's basically saying over time, after they keep your DNA, they're coming out with this de-aging technology. Now, this is also something that's been portrayed on TV a lot in futuristic shows where, people are getting old and they're like, I want to be young. And you have to pay a certain amount of money, like a couple $1,000s for this de-aging kind of technology, and you become younger. But what you need is a sample of your DNA from when you were younger. So not from you, because your DNA changes a little bit as you get older, right? So you need that DNA from when you were younger. And so the only way you could be able to get that is unless you froze your own DNA and you kept it for years, which you probably didn't. Or two, you go to these people and you're like, hey, I'd like to buy my DNA back. And you're like, okay, this is going to be a couple $100s, couple $1,000s actually. And it's also like the government just runs on money. So that makes it so much more believable. Like, everything they do is just a way for them to get money. Now, let me tell you guys something. This mic is fake. I don't need this, but it feels good holding the mic. Like, well, it's not fake. It's a real mic, but it's not plugged into anything. It is not. It's not Bluetooth. It's like it has a plug. So, but yeah, that's my take on like the future being planted on the TV. I got that from Jumpers Jump, and a lot of my theories and stuff comes from Jumpers and Jump. Like, they make a lot of good points. I like their stuff, right? But something that I just live by, I guess, is that everything happens for a reason. Do you think everything happens for a reason?
Yeah.
Like, give me an example.
Like how you get slapped on top of your forehead.
And what was the reason for that?
Cause you kind of need more brain power.
Okay, but I do believe that everything happens for a reason, whether it be good or bad. And even I know in a lot of situations you'll be like, hey, it's just happening because it's happening. There's no reason behind it. But I feel like there's always a reason behind anything. Now, James Holmes, I forget what year it is, but it was fairly recent. I'll say 2012, 2015. A man named James Holmes. He seemed like a quite normal guy. You know, people liked him, had friends, all that. Yeah, what? What's funny?
James Charles. Wait, hold
All right, bro. But James Holmes, he seemed like a normal guy, but he did have a psychiatrist, I'm pretty sure, and she was the only person that got to kind of see his crazy side. Now, he was going through some dark times, going through some dark times in his life, and there's two roads you go. Either you take out your anger on yourself, or you take it out on other people. All right, and he was one of those people who he wanted to take out that anger on everybody else. Now, the thing is, he would make subtle hints to his psychiatrist that he was not okay and that he was gonna do these things, that he had thoughts of doing it. Now, he never flat out told her, "Hey, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do," but he would talk about how he had thoughts of it, right? So one day, he thought to himself, "Hey, I'm gonna execute this plan. It's the time this happens today." So I forget where it is again, but he went to this movie theater to go see a very popular movie at the time. I think it's the second most viewed movie in the world, probably, or the first, something like that. But it's called The Dark Knight Rises, basically a Batman movie. Now, he goes in here with the attitude, everyone here is gonna die. Now, he writes this all in his little journal. Like, he kept all his bad thoughts in a little journal. Now, he takes this journal and he mails it to his psychiatrist before he does it. So his psychiatrist gets this, I think he did it probably like a week prior. He planned it so that it gets there the day when he's doing this. And even before he did it, he called some kind of hotline. I don't know if it's really like a suicide hotline or something like that, but he called a hotline and it's like, "Hey, I'm here. This is what I'm doing. They're all gonna die," whatever. But he got disconnected from the hotline. Now, just keep that in mind. It disconnected from the hotline. Like, they didn't hang up. Like, I guess service was bad and it just disconnected. So what he does in the middle of the movie, like, he goes in, he watches some of it, he scopes it out, sees how many people are in there, then he leaves and he comes back prepared with a gas mask and he's throwing, gas in there, like gas bombs. And then right in the middle of, a fight scene, a crime scene, they're all shooting on why do you keep moving your feet closer to mine? All right. They're shooting and everything like that. And as they're shooting on the movie, he starts shooting too. So it kind of blends in and everyone thinks, "Oh, this is like some kind of special effects, like a 3D movie or something like that." But the whole time these people are thinking, "Oh, this is just cool." Everyone's just getting shot. Now, at the end of this, he ended up killing 12 people and injuring 70 people. So, I mean, that's how many people were just in that one theater watching that movie. That's how packed it was. 70 people killed and, no, 70 people injured and 12 people killed. Now, there was this one survivor, I don't know her name or anything, but there was this one survivor who obviously survived, and she goes back to her home in Toronto. Now, this happened in America, but she goes back to Toronto, Canada, and later on in her life, she gets killed in a hospital shooting. She was in the hospital, and someone came to the hospital and shot up the hospital, and she died by another. After surviving the shooting, she got killed in another shooting. Now, that brings me back to everything happens for a reason. Just the fact that when he called the hotline saying, "Hey, this is what's going to happen, send people before this happens," and he got disconnected. And then, what does that mean? That it was just set in place, like he was meant to kill these people on this day. And then after it all happened, and the survivor, she got away and she's getting hospital treatment. She got killed by another active shooter. It was just meant to happen, wasn't it? It's crazy, and that's just crazy to bag. Now, I've got about like two more. Just like what is your take on that? What do you do, like everything I just said? Like, what did you take in from that?
I'm not gonna lie to you. You're a nerd.
How am I nerd? You play Minecraft every single day.
Why you have to do you? Now you exposing me.
All right, but how'd you feel about everything I just said?
It's kind of crazy how this dude was trying to warn somebody, and me personally, well, when you like said they like had disconnected from the call, I'm thinking like God is trying to get more angel upstairs, so he had the answers. Like when the people was about to die, God like just wiped out the cable system or something like that.
Facts. All right, now there's this other theory. I think this happened in 1996, something like that. But there was this one man who loved flying his plane. He would adventure everywhere, flying his little personal plane all around the world. And one day he decided to fly his plane over Antarctica. And now, while he's flying his plane over Antarctica, he sees like this huge hole in the ground, or like some kind of mountain or something like that. And he's like, "Whoa, this looks cool. I want to go explore that." Now, I mean, it was a huge hole. So he flies his plane into there. It's a personal sized plane. It's not one of those planes that has all those people, so he can fit in there. So he takes his plane and he flies in there. Now when he comes out, he reports back. He says when he flew in there, it was just crazy. It looked so technologically advanced, like a whole another civilization was living in there, things he's never seen before in his life. Like it just looked like another world, another dimension in there. Now he comes out, and everyone's like, "Hey, you're crazy, you're crazy." Everyone's telling him he's crazy. He didn't see anything. He didn't really go to Antarctica. Now, thing is, after this, a couple days later, obviously, he dies. Natural causes or accidental death, something like that. Obviously, the things that the government always say when they go out and they kill someone. When someone comes out and they speak about something, it's always either overdose or accidental death or natural causes or heart attack. It's always like those four, right? So he dies a couple days later after coming forward and saying all this stuff, and on top of that, they made it illegal to fly over Antarctica after he comes out with all this information.
Oh yeah, cause it'd be like portals everywhere, since the government don't want like people to find out the secret. So since it's like portal everywhere, the government is trying to close it everywhere and make it illegal to go through the portals, and people be accidentally like going through the portals and stuff. So since they like know the like they going through different dimensions, and sometimes you like think you're like dreaming or something like that, but it's actually real to you, and you're like still there and stuff. But me like when you like go through the thing, your consciousness is like going somewhere else.
Facts. Right. Now, also, let me say something else. Everyone knows that humans are reported to be the smartest creatures on the planet, obviously, and dolphins are the smartest creatures in the ocean, I think, right next to octopi. Also, what is the plural of octopus? Is it octopuses or octopi? Everyone thinks octopi, right? But no, that's a Mandela effect. If you look it up, the plural of octopus is octopuses. Now, I literally remember being in school and they're like, "Hey, it's not octopuses, guys, it's octopi." I mean, it's octopi. And I remember literally an episode of Octonauts where they're like, "Hey, it's octopi, not octopuses." But if you look it up, apparently it's octopuses, it's not octopi. Octopi is not a correct word at all. But hey, Mandela effect.
Yeah, everybody loves octopuses.
But okay, back on topic. Dolphins are the smartest animals of the sea, and they're also the most aggressive now. Everyone sees them as, all the sweetest creatures of the ocean because they're so cute, but you are more likely to get attacked and killed by a dolphin than you are a shark.
Yeah.
Like, sharks really don't kill people, but dolphins will literally take you and drag you down underwater,
and they
rape you, and they'll drown you and all that, and just what they do to pufferfish, they take pufferfish and they just like play volleyball with them, and also they get high off of the toxins that the pufferfish gets off. So like they're high and they're just smacking this pufferfish back and forth. I mean, they're bullies of the ocean. When they see a lone shark, they just gang up on the shark and just beat it to death, and then not for food or anything, they just attack it until it dies. I mean, sharks are scared of dolphins, like how you see in the movies. The dolphins are always scared of the sharks in the movies, but it's the opposite way around. Like, they bully sharks, okay? But the reason why they're so evil is because they're so intelligent. They know that they can do this. That's why. And intelligence is different. I mean, I'm not different, dangerous. I feel like the more intelligent something is, the more kind of evil it becomes. And that's why I say, like, humans are so evil. Like, humans are the most evil creatures. You think about all the stuff we do, we're just so evil. Like, we're literally destroying our own planet. And why? It's because we're so smart, and that's why we're so evil. I mean, if you look back just in history, we're just so violent as well, because the first kind of sports we would have the people fight to death in the Colosseums, just for no reason, for entertainment. Like, we just, is in our nature to want to see other people get hurt, see other things get hurt. So we would literally have people in a big stadium fighting to the death. I mean, these people are dying and everyone's laughing, cheering it on. Let's go, let's go. All right. And then after Colosseums, right, we have boxing. You got boxing, all this boxing, and boxing is probably the most famous sport right aside from football. But football also, it's like people are getting hurt left and right. People getting dragged off the field constantly because they're getting concussions, they're getting knocked out, people dying from getting hit too hard. Wrestling, people fighting, they're literally fighting over and over again. They have to tap out when they're too hurt. And we all went through our own era where we're sitting at home, we're like, I'm bored. Let's turn on some funny fail videos, right? You turn on the YouTube, put in funny fail videos, but 9 times out of 10, you click on the video. What's the fail video? What usually happens in the fail videos?
Somebody get hurt.
Somebody gets hurt, and that's what we like watching. You know what I'm saying? Because we're evil. Why are we evil? Because we're so smart. Why is it that way? I don't know. But honestly, it's crazy if you sit there and you just bag it, bro. We're evil because we're smart. Do you think Albert Einstein, do you think he was evil?
No.
I think he was evil.
How can he be evil?
Because he's black.
He's black?
Yeah, but anyway, we're going to end it there. Albert Einstein is black. So if you've taken anything out of this podcast, Albert Einstein is black.
Slowly kisses, busting